When I was 18 years old, I was a gooner, but not just any gooner, I was a professional gooner. I would spend hours a day just locked in my room gooning. It was my obsession, it was my addiction.
I did it for me. I liked it. I was good at it. I was alive.
But there's one catch. Now, I was also a virgin. At 18 years old, I still barely did anything with any girls. But believe it or not, my brother actually told me this. He said to try to stop gooning just for 1 month, 2 months tops. And I kid you not, after the first couple of weeks, I started getting action. After my first 2 months of doing this, I finally lost my V card for the very first time. And it's because whenever you tell yourself subconsciously that you have all this action but you're really not getting anything, then you have no actual drive, actual desire to go get real life women. But it's the same thing with everything else in your life. And I think gooning is one of the worst habits you could possibly create if you actually have goals, if you actually want to do stuff. And I'm tired of everybody saying, oh, but no fap retention is cope. You can goon however much you want to. Let me tell you something. Anybody telling you that gooning is perfectly fine, these guys probably don't get an insane amount of action. Think of the PSL gods, all these models you guys look up to. Do you think they're just sitting in their bedrooms jerking it 24/7? No, they most definitely are not. So without further ado, I'm going to go full into details about gooning today. Let's get it. Why do we goon to begin with? What comes down to the dopamine and reward system within the brain. Engaging in frequent self-pleasure, especially when combined with the videos on the corn hub, stimulates the brain's reward system, releasing dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and motivation. Over time, this can lead to a desensitization of the dopamine receptors themselves, requiring more and more stimulation to get that same sort of high, potentially resulting in 1, compulsive behaviors, and 2, some very, very weird kinks. I'm living in Thailand, man. There's all sorts of creeps and weirdos out here for one thing and one thing only. The guys who are dressing up as ladies and they're attracted to this, and it's not because they're of a certain sexuality, anything like this. First of all, I'm not hating, but what I am saying is that their dopamine receptors are fried. They need more and more stimulation. This chick with the thing is giving it to them, literally and figuratively. Now we need to talk about the impacts of this habit on the mental health of the brain itself. Whenever you consistently engage in this, it's always been linked to a lot more anxiety and a lot more depression and overall negative mental health. And some people actually report a difficulty creating real life relationships whenever they have this addiction. I think this is one of the worst addictions 99% of men are addicted to. 99% of men will admit to watching it within the past 7 days on average. This is pretty bad, man. The physical consequences, this has actually been linked to higher rates of ED. It's going to be harder to perform, harder to last as long. And not just that, you are desensitized. You're giving yourself that gorilla grip when you're actually with the real girl. What do you think happens? That does not feel nearly as good as you and your best friend in the entire world, man. This is why we need to stop this terrible habit. Unfortunately, there is not that much scientific evidence showing how no fap retention actually boosts testosterone. There's only one study where it spikes to up to 145% after 7 days of semen retention, but then it goes back down to baseline. But I've seen people on Reddit forums, for example, getting their tests done every single month, a year later, 2 years later, and a lot of people see significant spikes in testosterone. So I would say experiment with it, see how you feel, but overall the benefits are definitely going to outweigh the possible downsides of this addiction. But if you want another way to boost testosterone, I've got you covered, man. So on kalosique.com, my website, I've got 2 of the best supplements for overall self-improvement and testosterone maxing. First of all, it's going to be Titan Growth 2.0, which is 500 to 1000% of all your daily required nutrients to optimize your overall health, because 92% of Americans are deficient in basic vitamins and minerals. When this happens, IGF-1 human growth hormone shuts down and it closes your growth plates so you can't grow as tall as you're supposed to, and it's also going to cut off the development of your face. So you need Titan Growth 2.0, and also Aries Rage, obviously the best testosterone booster on the entire market with Tunga Elite, which boosts testosterone by 37% after just 4 weeks of taking it. We've got Boron, which increases free testosterone by 28%, decreases estrogen by 39%. We've got Maca, which has been scientifically proven to enhance overall vitality, freaking everything. Zinc, which is a precursor to creating testosterone, also in clinical studies has been shown to increase height as well. Oyster extract, pumpkin extract, everything needed to max out testosterone like crazy. Get 10% off using my code Wayne on kalosique.com right now. And don't forget, guys, join Kalos VIP with my 3-hour Looks Maxing Masterclass, 2-hour Head Growth Masterclass, Female Nature Masterclass, Social Media Masterclass. Right now we have the Aesthetic Physique Masterclass. Every 2 weeks we up on a group VIP call with me and all of my students. It's typically $55. Right now it is only $12. Sign up below, link in the description. Now, the first major benefit of doing this, quitting this habit, going on retention, NoFap, is going to be insane focus and mental clarity. For me, anytime I have done it to myself in the past, or even with a woman, for example, this drains you, man. One of these loads is enough to repopulate all of America. So quite literally, it can provide you with so much energy. Why do you think after the fact, after the act, whatever it is, you feel drained? Meanwhile, the woman actually gets charged up, full of energy. You got to be very careful with your sexual energy. And many people practicing retention, NoFap, they always talk about this benefit. But the biggest reason to actually do this is because it's going to improve your discipline. It's going to change your brain, the way it's wired. Because watching these videos has actually been linked to just about as detrimental as heavy drug usage. That's how bad it actually is. But what we're doing is we're cutting out that addiction and we are rewiring the brain to do something consistently difficult, because retaining this energy is going to be one of the hardest things you've ever done. And every time you resist, you want to just bust the fattest load of your life, but you don't. You are building up those positive neural pathways in the brain that makes doing difficult things easier. And this is going to pour over into every single thing in your life. This is why when it comes to self-improvement, everyone talks about NoFap retention, because it can quite literally help you build that discipline to get started. Now, yeah, tons of millionaires, wealthy people, they bust loads like crazy. It's not that big of a deal, but I can guarantee you, they never thought about it. Maybe like once, twice a week, they might just release one. It doesn't matter very much, but you know they're not getting caught up, going hours on the hub every single day, because this is not what someone who's high functioning is doing. For me, the biggest reason I just have loved doing this, I've been on NoFap for pretty much the past 4 or 5 years. I don't even know at this point. Ever since 2020, July 7th. I've noticed way better connection and relationships with the opposite sex. It's easier to talk to them because you don't see them as much as a sexual object. Being with them intimately feels 10 times more pleasurable. I'm able to last longer. Overall, it's like, let's say down there I was like 70-80% hardness before. These days, I'm like always diamond mode 100% hard mode. Strategies to never relapse again and finally quit this bad habit. Number one, we need to set a clear-cut goal. Do you just want to quit the videos? Do you want to stop touching yourself altogether? Do you want to get into a new routine with your partner to where you can retain a little bit more energy? Whatever it is, we all have different goals. There's no one correct way to do retention, to do NoFap. If retention is not on the table because let's say you're in a relationship, then you can do NoFap with a little bit of retention practicing. You need to set a clear-cut goal to begin with, write this down, and then have the steps needed to actually achieve this. Step 2, we need to identify the triggers. Is it going to be OnlyFans girls on Instagram? Is it going to be seeing any sort of content? Is it after you're scrolling on TikTok, on Instagram for an extended period of time, because now you actually need more and more dopamine? What is the trigger? Find out the trigger and then limit it Block all of these girls. Don't follow any girls who do not follow you back and that you personally do not know. You need to start having some self-control when it comes to those triggers. Establish a routine. So now every time you get those urges, you need to have a routine in place to actually not follow through with this. Whether it's push-ups, whether it's a cold shower, whether it's locking in and focusing on work, whether it's locking in and reading a book, whatever it is, you need some sort of distraction that's going to be much more productive than actually doing this habit. And last but not least, it's going to be a support system. Whenever I first started, I told my brother. I tell my brother everything. Having a best friend, a brother like this, who's going to be supportive of most things you're doing, you could just be like, hey, I'm trying out this new thing. I want to quit the videos, and just let them know. And then just telling them can help hold you accountable. Now, you want to make sure it's the right person you're telling, because some people will tell you, oh, that's BS. Oh, it's healthy to release 21 times a month for the prostate, which is a huge piece of misinformation, by the way. So you just want to be cautious with who you are actually telling this information to. But that is it, man. I wish you luck in your quitting the gooning journey, and subscribe if you are new. I love you guys with all of my heart. Peace.